Right, peace to the family out there, all over the world. We are finally live. Good to have y'all waiting in the building. Thank you for your patience. I started this time before 9/11. I had this thing where I kept starting at 9/11, Dr. B, but today I started a little before. Listen, I'm about to bring on my guest. We're gonna have an amazing, great show. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Okay, yeah. This got to be the fastest year so far, y'all. Woo, this year's speeding by. Wow. March 13th already. Wow. All right. Let's get to get comfortable. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are not subscribed, and let's get to a quick commercial. Then I'll be right back. Bring on my guest. You see, he's taking the tonic, so you know what it's about to be. Once you see him doing that, y'all know what's coming up. Let's get to a quick commercial. Be right back, family. Get to a real quick commercial.
The legendary Professor James Smalls come to Atlanta, Georgia for 2 days. April 6th and April 7th. You don't want to miss it. He's doing a public and a private event. Text me right now at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. The legendary Professor James Smalls, as you've seen him on Hidden Colors and all the rest of the documentaries. Make sure you go to my Linktree at Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. Professor James Smalls in Atlanta, April 6th and April 7th.
All right, all right. Without further ado, I just noticed my son drew on my computer with a crayon, man. These damn kids, boy. These kids. Without further ado, let's welcome back to the platform. The one, the only, Dr. B, Sirius. Dr. B, welcome back.
You know, it's amazing to be here. This is a phenomenal time, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Last time I seen you, you was rocking on stage, man. I was on the sideline screaming, and you was rocking, and y'all. That was this Saturday, man. How you been doing since Saturday, man? You enjoyed yourself for a Saturday, huh?
Well, you know, music is my root. You know, music, drums. That's how it all began. And when I'm ever in that place, that's like home. That's where it all comes from. That is the alchemy that created everything else. That is the thing, the rhythm, the sound, the tone. So it was an amazing event to meet so many amazing people.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I might have to take you on the road with me because
hey,
you are the best hype man there is.
Man,
He's the hype man on spiritual events.
Yeah, it got me. I'm the hype man during the shows, the events. You gotta. We talk about the power of emotions, Dr. B. So you gotta,
Right.
and I'm glad. With you saying that, we're gonna segue into the show because that's a part of tapping into this alchemy, finding the philosopher's stone, the pioneer, all of that. Now, let me explain something to you. Let me say something here, Dr. B. This is important. I know you're gonna take off with this. I'm the point guard to the gods. I'm gonna throw you this alley oop, and Dr. B is he's gonna slam dunk it for about an hour after I say this. Now, Dr. B said, Rich, you the best hype man out there. Now, a hype man is looked down upon in our culture. Like, let's say a Flavor Flav. A hype man is not the man. The man is the rapper or the DJ or the producer. The hype man is almost like a court gesture. So a lot of he's looked at that way. Not that he is that. He's looked at that way. A lot of people, if you needed them to be a hype man, they would not do it because their ego would get in the way. Because I'm so in tune with my spirit, that's my special power to hype shit up. I know how to alter the world's emotions. I'm good at that. So I'm an incredibly good hype man. My ego, me being honest, and this is leading me, I'm talking about the whole Pinocchio thing where you can't ascend if you just keep lying to yourself. You being honest with yourself about who you are is going to get you to where you got to get. Me being honest with myself, Dr. B, and say, you know what? I'm an incredible hype man. Something that a lot of other brothers would be like, I ain't no motherfucker hype man. Hype man, I ain't no hype man. I'm the man. I'm this. What am I gonna be hyping another man for? What kind of shit? I'm a hype man. I hype shit if I'm in the studio, I hype Cambada. I just hype I'm with my lady. I'm just hype King Simon. Dr. B. So with me being honest with myself and me not attaching ego to know who I am, that allows me to tap into my superpowers and be the most incredible hype man. Be the most incredible, because I ask questions hype. You know what I'm saying? Be the most incredible interview or question asked out there on the internet, because I didn't let my ego get to me, and because I wasn't ashamed of what my special talent might be. A lot of people have talents that they may be ashamed of, or they lie to themselves so much they don't even know how to tap into, Dr. B. So you talked about the whole Pinocchio thing before with us lying. I feel like, Dr. B, and I'm gonna end it like this: one of the biggest mistakes, one of the biggest things we do that's preventing us from getting to where we gotta get is lying to ourselves, not being honest with ourselves about who we are, what we want out of life, and where we want to go in life, because we feel like we have to follow culture, which is really a cult. So with that being said, Dr. B, talk to me about being true to who you are, embracing who you are, to tap into your superpower, and not lying to yourself, and experiencing that Pinocchio effect. Dr. B, go ahead. I'm gonna let you do your thing, brother. Slam dunk it, brother. Slam dunk it. All right.
One of the best types of hyper energy is electricity.
Yeah.
It moves things.
Oh, yeah.
Fire is another type of hyper energy. So when you're making food, you use fire to hype the frequency up, to turn up the heat, to cook the thing that you're about to ingest. So fire, hype, electricity, hype is needed in life. It is a lot of times more important than the thing you see out front. It's the thing from behind that supports the one in the front. This is a powerful, very special, sacred role. When we say hype, a lot of us need to get hype. Some of us, we need to hype ourselves. But sometimes we're not that good hyping ourselves. So you find somebody else that's hyped up and fired up and electrical about you. You see, in business, in marketing, one of the best things you can have is a hype person. Right, those are the people that make the ads and make the commercials. The news, those newscasters are hype people. They didn't make the news. They don't even know till they read it on the teleprompter. But they hype it up, and it's a certain voice that they have. And today, that's right. Today, it was terrible what we saw. See, it's hype. They learn the voice of hype. So a lot of the terms that we have agreed mean a certain thing, right, are just that. They're called memes. Memes are socially agreed upon ideas. And a lot of these socially agreed upon ideas have they in no way mean what we think they mean, because we haven't done the deep research. We haven't done the deep dive into language. And we just go along with the little pieces of things that we have been given. So this is the time to be hyped. Right. This is the time to be pumped up. This is not the time to lay back and complain about, how victimized you are and how you can't do this and, who's going to hold you back. You see, a lot of people don't realize one of the most powerful things that the human, if you want to call us humans, or that people have, is the way the brain can predict. Predictable. A lot of times we're predicting how something is going to go based on the past, based on past performance. You might, your favorite team, you're going to look at how they performed in the past, but then they may get out there and lose. But we're predicting, right, based on past performance. If we're able to get to a place where we start predicting based on our desire and what we'd like to create, and then put fire under that. See, what you want is crashing. It's a plane. Want is like the desire without action. But desire, if you just say desire, it has fire in it. It has hyper energy in it. Ire. It's moving. It's activated. It's not standing still. See, just like when we say See, love is a couple, you got love the noun, which is just a word that names something.
Right.
Then you got love the verb,
Mhm.
where it's action based. How do you have action? Well, you have to have energy. Brother Rich, you have energy. You're rich and wealthy. You see what I'm saying? You are wealthy with energy. Anybody that's wealthy with energy that's moving in a higher direction or that's lifting people up or elevating the world, anybody that's doing that right now is going to be out front because we'd like to be on the leading edge.
Right,
We'd like to be on doing something new because we're in a new age, so we can't keep doing the same thing. You see? So that fire, that energy, that push, you got to be pumped up. Somebody asked me one time, I was pumped up talking about something, and somebody said, man, well, Dr. B, man, who do you think you are? So I think I'm Dr. B. I mean, what do they mean by that? This is supposed to be like a disagreeable thing. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are saying that? Why are you minding my business? Now, you're not here to hype me up. You're here to try to pull me down to make you look better, because what happens is as I keep saying, people that have been oppressed for a long period of time become self-oppressive. They begin to oppress themselves, and then they become oppressive because they'll talk about you in disagreeable ways and try to bring you down. So they'll feel better. Hey, I told you he was blah, 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 blah. Dr. B, I heard you used to be out there in the streets. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I heard you you used to take drugs. Yeah, all of them. Okay. What about what's that got to do with right now? So we have to be hyped. That is the heat that is used during alchemy. And the first step of alchemy, is when you're burning off all the things in the metal or the material that you no longer desire. It's called calcination. It's the first step.
What's it?
Calcination.
Calcination. See, I didn't know that word. Okay.
Calcination. Look it up. Calcination. See, when you find, let's say you find gold. When you find gold, it's not just gold. It's a gold ore. It's got other things stuck to it. One of the things they say in mining is that when they find a vein of malachite, which is the green stone, they know they're close to gold. When they find gold, it's a mixture of things in the gold. It's just not a gold. If it's in a rock, it's got other things in it. It's just not like gold bricks. So what they have to do is they have to heat it up. And as they heat at certain temperatures, certain elements come off of it. Certain elements break down or vaporize or liquefy at certain degrees. So the first step of personal alchemy, and that is to do the calcination. That is to burn off all the things you no longer desire. Like a sculptor, they get a lump of clay. And what do? They cut away and cut away and cut away, which is circumcision. And cut away what you no longer desire, like circumcision of the heart.
Right.
See, they thought that the holy book said to cut all the boys and shave their stuff off because God messed up with an extra piece of skin. They're talking about calcinate. I mean, they're talking about circumcision of the heart. Take all the stuff in your heart that is no longer desirable and burn it off. This is the most challenging step of alchemy because there's like 9 steps. Some say 13.
Wow.
That first one is finding out who you really are. Because usually your ID and your idea about who you think you are is not accurate. It's based on a bunch of beliefs. It's a bunch of ideas and theories and things that your parents may have given you and things that you experienced that you put into your space. That's now your world. That's your geosphere. That's your, that's your space. That's you've programmed yourself to believe in and go along with a bunch of stuff that you think is you. It's very root chakra. It's like when you say I am, and right after it, whatever you say, you are. I am is a very root chakra, basic, statement, which, we now find that I am was one of those terms that was used a lot in the Piscean age, which was that was the age of distraction. It was the age of we were at the furthest place from the center of the galaxy. So now that we're out of that, a lot of people still carry the vapor and the energy and the ideas and the ways of an old age. It's an old age. And side note, I was talking to the dentist yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? But the dentist said, I said, well, do y'all use mercury fillings? They said, we only use mercury fillings for children. I said, huh? What do you mean? Wow. We only use it for little children. After you get your permanent teeth, we don't use mercury fillings. I says, what's the concept there? Well, the children who, they don't have all their permanent teeth yet, they're going to fall out anyway. So we don't want to give them an expensive material like, they use porcelain and all these different, materials that look like teeth. Yeah. They give the children mercury fillings. I says, so the little children, they say, yeah, they get a lot of cavities. They eat a lot of candy and sweets in America. We give them mercury. I says, is that safe? He says, now I'll tell you, there's a lot of controversy about mercury, but it hasn't been proven to be an actual fact. So until then, it's safe for children. I says, and what about fluoride? Oh, yeah, you got to use fluoride to have strong teeth. And without fluoride, a whole lot of people's teeth would fall out. I said, well, they had mummies. They showed mummies, a lot of mummies. Well, no, see, what are you trying to say here? I'm asking you, is fluoride safe? Mm. Now, I know for a fact that fluoride is one of the most poisonous substances on the planet. Mm. Nobody would let you even dump fluoride in their water. And see, fluoride, when they're making aluminum, when they're smelting aluminum down to make the manufactured aluminum. See, aluminum is natural because a big part of the earth is made of aluminum. It's a very, popular, mineral in the earth. It helps to shape it. Right. But when you smelt it down to make, airplane parts or whatever, a lot of things are made of aluminum. They have to put it in the fire. Mm. They got to put it through a type of alchemy. You've got to put it through a type of calcination to get it to break down. But there's a byproduct. The byproduct is fluoride. Mm. Fluoride is so toxic. No one in the world will let you put it in their water. There's a very good documentary about this. It's called The Great Culling Water. The Great Culling. It's about the fluoride industry. When you are changing something, there's going to be some leftover. There's going to be an outcome. There's going to be some waste material. If you're in construction, there's going to be a whole dumpsters and dumpsters and dumpsters of waste material. Because those are the pieces that you don't need to make the pure item, the pure article. Mm-hmm. In personal alchemy, we're looking to get to something that is pure enough for us to go to the second step. First, you got to purify. Mm-hmm. That means to cut away, to get rid of the waste material. You must use fire, electricity, hot water to create, right, the heat to agitate the molecules, to get down to what you really like or what you desire. In our personalities, it is up to us at a certain point to burn off what we no longer desire. I'm talking to the dentist. I said, well, how do people get cavities? Well, it's a natural thing. Well, it's natural. Cavities are natural. They just happen. Well, after eating, eating what? What causes cavities in our nutritional, I don't want to say diet. I guess it is a diet. Sugar, processed sugar. Mm-hmm. Processed sugar by far begins to dissolve teeth. The children are eating lots of sugar because mama's giving it to them, which is a drug. So the mother is feeding the child drugs masquerading as food. She doesn't know because she was taught by her parents and her parents. And they just go along with whatever master says. You know, this is what you do. This is what the oppressor put us under pressure, and we just go along with it. So she's oppressing the child without even knowing it. So I started thinking about they giving the children mercury. This causes the child to go retrograde. You know, they keep talking about Mercury retrograde. Actually, that never affected me. Mercury retrograded. None of that ever affected me because I wasn't aware of it. And I'm pumped up and I'm so hyped about life. I'll move past anything happening in my environment. You got to move past your environment. You've got to move up above your environment. You got to be like the falcon and be ready to fly above the storm. That's what the falcon can do. You have to be a falcon or become a falcon or like a falcon or lean towards falcon type activities. The Mercury is causing the children to go retrograde. Retrograde means to move backwards, to move like a crab. A crab walks retrograde. That's why they say Cancer is retrograde. This retrograde sign. It looks like the stars or this Mercury or whatever is moving backwards. It's actually an illusion. It's not ever moving backwards. The only planet that actually goes the opposite way is Venus, which why they say Venus is probably not a planet. It's a ship. That's a whole nother thing.
You took it there. Shit.
So if you are retrograding the children, you're feeding them sugar, which retrogrades their brain. Then you're going down to the dentist and you're letting them put mercury and lead and stuff into the child's tooth, which every time the child chews, it's chewing and pressing on and heating up and activating and hyping up the chemicals in the teeth. So this is causing the child, or there's a lot of adults that's still. I've just recently got all my mercury out within the last maybe 12 years. And I asked the dentist. I said, dentist, you're a scientist, right? He said, yes, I am. You study teethology. He laughed. I said, how come when they came to get my mercury, they had on suits like on ET? They were all covered up. And the container had biohazard written on it. It was this huge, thick container. And they was walking real slow. And they was talking inside the suit. Okay, now we're going for... Whoa! And you telling me that Mercury's okay? No, Mercury is going to retrograde me. A lot of activities that we have are like Mercury. They're toxic activities that we haven't burned off yet. And to burn off a lot of these activities is not fun. It don't feel good. Some folks feel like they're dying. Some folks feel like they're dying when they change their diet because they eating food to die for. That cake was to die for. Listen to the language. What kind of energy you're hyping and electrifying your food with your talk. You're electrifying, hyping up your water with your thought, with your words. You're hyping up your love life with your words. You're gonna go out and talk shit about your loved one to your friends. Do you know what that's doing? And you think you're separate from them because somebody told we were all separate, and we don't realize that in the quantum realm is only one particle that's creating everything based on observation. You're not separate. So as you talk disagreeably about somebody else, whoever they are, whether they're speakers, lecturers, teachers, the man who you think is the man, who you calling the man, well, that must make you a boy if you keep talking about the man. The man, the man. What man? Are you the man? So when we talk about alchemy, we're talking about changing things from one state to another. For us, it starts with our breath. It starts with what you're breathing. And in order to speak, you must breathe. You must breathe. In order to think and live, you must breathe. Without breathing, Without respiration, you can't live, because respiration is when you're letting go of carbon dioxide and other gases. You're burning them off through your system. So you're hyping up certain things and you're using them as certain things that go into the body as nutrition. Other things are burned off as waste. We have to burn off the waste. That's the first step of alchemy. And in alchemy, they always talk about two things: the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life.
Oh, yeah. Always him, yeah.
What are they talking about? You need these two materials to even begin. What is the philosopher's stone? So let's just call that a yang or a yang element. It's a stone.
Check.
It's male.
Check.
It's positive. It's positive. Positive means posing, stuck. So now we need the other side of the circuit. We need the other side of the realm, which is going to be yang. So you got, yin. Yin is the feminine element. It's liquid. It's fluid. So in order to have a whole, you must have yang with a little bit of yang in it, and yin with a little bit of yang in it. That creates a world, and in between those two elements, or those two things, those two possibilities or potentials, there's something called the seam. The seam is the place in between yin and yang.
The seam.
The seam. So when you sew fabric, folks who sew, and I would ask that all people, especially those who identify as feminine, learn to sew. Why? Because you get to pick your fabrics and pick your styles. If somebody else is picking your fabric and picking your style, and you're caught up in fashion, the word, if you look up the etymology, it says fascism. That means the military takes over the government, it starts what's called a coup. The military takes over, takes the president, whoever's, takes him out, puts him away, kills him, or puts him in a prison. And the military takes over, and it says, all of your rights must be suspended. All of your constitutional rights must be suspended now, because we're having a national emergency. So fashion is when your natural rights become suspended in your mindset, because the government or whoever's in charge, the military, tells you what's in fashion, what you must wear to be in, because you want to be in. You want to be in the times. You want to get whatever they're getting. If they're getting 1,000 tats, you want to get them too. If they got earrings in their eyelids, you want to get those too. Why? That's the thing that makes me look young, that makes me look like I'm in, that makes me join. Not realizing, what you're really doing is you're following, right, the leader. Who is the leader? Usually the oppressor is the leader. The one you consider to be the winner is the leader. See, even when we become very materialistic, and we want money, and we want to look like we got money, we want to act like we got money. Because money, right, it becomes the root of all evil ideas. I didn't say money was the root of evil. I said money is the root of evil ideas. A lot of things that we're involved in are causing us to be we're in disquietude. Have you heard this term? There's so much going on in your head. You're chasing so many things. You're chasing money. You're chasing love. We're chasing fashion. We're chasing fascism. We don't even realize it, that we're getting our asses kicked, and we never get to sit down and become quiet with ourselves and be able to find out who we really are at the root. Once you find out who you really are, what you would like to consider the true article, the true thing, the actual, the prime element, then you're able to begin the process of alchemy. The first step is to burn off everything, all personalities that are not yours, all thoughts that are not really yours, all ways of walking, ways of talking that are not really yours, that have been impressed because you are very impressive. Yeah, he's very impressive. She's very impressive. What's that mean, to be impressed? It's something been pressed in on me. And I give it value because I believe in the world that I've been trained to be in, that this is value. And if you're just following all the time, right, and you're not doing the personal alchemy, and you don't have the Philosopher's Stone, which is the electrical, right, energy that's going to make things move, and if you're not magnetic, which is magnetism is basically how our whole system works, then you lose inspiration because you're aspirating. You're it's like you're burning out. Inspiration and imagination this is essential. How can you truly imagine if you're living in a world where you're just taking in mass distraction all day long? You're living on the internet. You're living in a place where nothing could live. There's very few things that can live on the circuit board of that phone inside. Did you know that? Because of the heat, because of the agitation and the electromagnetic waves inside of a phone or a computer or any of these devices. The only thing that lives in there is artificial intelligence. Natural intelligence is something you naturally have. Natural intelligence or natural intuition or intuitive intelligence is extremely powerful. But you cannot get to that without doing the alchemy. So that means going into what you call the dark place. But that means stopping, some activities and friendships. Because some of those friends are frenemies and enemies. The word friend, if you look up if you look up the etymology of the word friend, you may not use it. If you look up the alchemy of the word want, you may not use it. If you look up the alchemy of a lot of words, you might change them because your words are based on your thoughts. And your words, right, they create your actions. Your actions harden the character. If your character is hardened through alchemy, you've got to what? Burn it off and become liquid again or gas. Get down to the raw you. Certain things can do this once you are ready to live the real life. Brother Rich, you did? I don't know what you asked. I never know what the question is.
Dr. B.
I never know what the question is. So I don't know if you asked the question or what had happened.
Now, you tapped into it. I was talking about, when we first started, I was talking about being able to tap into this, alchemical process by being honest with yourself. And my honesty of my role, which a lot of people would be ashamed of, is what allows me to be great. So then you just started talking about that, what you was talking about. This concept of the Philosopher's Stone is very, very interesting. In ancient times, this was talked about so much. This is in movies like Harry Potter. It's all over the place, Dr. B.
See, there are clues all along your path.
Yeah.
First, you got to have a path, though. Mm-hmm. And see, a lot of people don't have a path. They have a pathology, which means that they've walked a certain way, lived a certain way to create an illness. The average mainstream person today is ill, mentally ill, physically ill, spiritually ill. That's just the way it is. There are certain people, like many of you listening and watching here today, who are willing to create heaven out of hell or chaos, or to create order out of chaos by getting more knowledge, right? First, you need to know. Now, the word know or knowledge means to know right now. Knowledge means to know now. You can, if you have knowledge, it's only useful if you can use it right now. So you could read all the books in the world and talk all the language. I mean, people got to talk now. Everybody got the new, conscious, spiritual, woke talk. It's the new talk. It's just words. But to actually be in a place of manifestation or growth, I'd rather say we all need to grow up than become conscious. We need to grow up. Well, that's what the trees are doing. I'm watching them outside. They're budding right now. Mm-hmm. Leaves are coming. It's growing up. They're growing up towards the sun. They're elevating. They're constantly expressing themselves. They're not following a leader. They're not doing what the other plants are doing. They're not even doing what they did last year. Talk to King Simon. Get your numbers read so you could see the possibility, because these are potential. So you can have the greatest numbers in the world. All the numbers are good. There's no bad numbers. There's no bad sign. There's only the ideas and ideals and the memes that you're following, the talk that you're talking, the way you're moving. This is why music is important. This is why intimacy is important. See, there's 4 pathways to regulate your life. There's 4 movements, 4 things that help to regulate your life. Breath, sound, touch, and movement. Breath, sound, touch, and movement. When you understand the science of these things, then you get to sex. Isn't sex breath, sound, touch, and movement? It's intersection, because that's where you meet yourself. The question is, who is the self? And what if I am being selfish? There's another term. Hype man is one they say that's kind of disagreeable, right? In most people's minds, because you're not the main one. But selfish. You shouldn't be, don't be selfish, boy. You shouldn't be selfish. Where'd this come from? I shouldn't put me first. I should put everybody else first. That's what you call chronic servitude syndrome. Always serving everybody else, giving away everything. And then you take the crumbs that's left over from your creation. So some people say, well, I don't like that word selfish. Okay, well, self-caring, me first. I need to make love to myself, with myself, for myself, through breathing, through sound, through touch, through movement. I have to intersect with my original self. That's sex. I have to love me. If I am searching and looking out constantly for love and asking to be loved and asking people to say to me over and over, they love me. Do you love me? Yes, I love you. They're sending out the love emojis and it's just symbols. It's symbols. Now, symbols go deep. Symbols are very powerful. They're not as powerful as action, as actual material. When you realize that your life is about alchemy, about the change, about transmutation, transformation, and having experiences that can help you do this. This is movement. If you're living in fear, which is the mainstream program is fear, the whole program is fear. people are afraid of, they're afraid of being afraid. And if you've been through a bunch of traumatic experiences, what happens a lot of times is we employ or create a bodyguard, a guardian. So when something happens that could be hurtful, the bodyguard's job in our mind, we create this mentally, is to keep us safe so that don't happen again. Because somebody told you that history repeats itself. History repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself. History has never repeated itself. But, you know, they told you this on the farm. The farm master told you this. History is going to repeat itself. You got to learn history so it doesn't repeat itself. No, you may learn history to build upon, but not because it's going to repeat itself, because it can't. When you realize that you're here now and you've never been here before at this particular moment, and whatever happens now is only happening now, and you live life now as if there's no tomorrow, then you take this particular day and you attempt to burn off everything and vaporize everything in this day when you wake up in the morning, that so you don't drag yesterday with you, because there's no room in now for yesterday. And your future is being created right now based on the way that you do your alchemy. But if you're leaking all the time, you're always telling everybody everything, and you're predicting something that's going to be bad. You're predicting. Predicting a lot of times is how you create the self-fulfilling prophecy. You said it over and over and over. So you, in your world, in your paradigm, you wave casted that energy so deep into the quantum field, it came about. Look what happened to me. It always happens. Look what happened. So this is why we're doing this class.
Hey, Doc, what's the connection between the heart and the pineal gland when we talk about the Philosopher's Stone and turning lead to gold, as they say? What role does the heart, would you say the heart plays in that? And also let's start out with that. What role does the heart play in that process, Dr. B?
First of all, we think of the heart as a pump. We find out that the heart is not necessarily a pump. It's a distribution center. It is the body and vacuums with the arteries and the veins that's happening, that's causing blood to circulate through the body back to the heart. Interesting thing, if you took all of your blood vessels end to end and stretched them out, they say it's about 63,000 miles of blood vessels.
Yeah.
So the heart is a very special place. It's basically, it's a vortex.
Right.
The way even the way energy moves through the heart, it's spinning in vortexes. So you see those angles and those valves. It's causing these tornado-like effects, these energy fields. Torus. And once you understand the torus, right? The toroidal transformer is the most powerful field of energy on the planet. If you look at the earth and you look at the magnetism of the earth, I don't know if you've seen pictures of this, but they show you all this energy coming out the North Pole, and it's coming back at certain points on the planet. Those places where it comes back are what you call ley lines. They're energy centers all over the planet. Then on the bottom of the earth, you see the energy coming out and going back around again. It's like an apple. There's a vortex at the top and a vortex at the bottom, and they're opposite. The toroidal transformer, or the toroidal movement, is when everything is spinning and spiraling at such a point where the things that are not a part of that get spun off. You know, the heart they now know that the heart is also a glandular center too. It makes hormones. They just found this out. They also found out that the heart has as many or more neurons than your brain. See, there is no separation between the pineal and the heart. They're one. They work together. They're a team. When you look at a team from afar, they look like one. When you look at the earth from far away, it looks like a dot. As you zoom in, then you start seeing, okay, these are continents, and you zoom in more. These are trees, and that's ocean. But from far away, it's one unit. We are one unit, all of us. The pineal, right, is not calcified unless you keep saying it and you believe it. The power of imagination and predictability is huge. Your pineal is made of calcium or calcite crystals. I think they're 5-sided, or they're rhombus shaped crystals, strings. When you put pressure on the pineal, because it's made of piezoelectric crystals, they put out energy. They put out light. So the pineal is not just taking in light. If you put pressure on it, it puts out light. It puts out signals. It sends a signal. It is the lighthouse, but it's also the city of lights. Because when you squeeze it, it puts out energy. The heart beats at a certain pulse, and that blood, right, goes through the blood vessels and has the ability to put pressure on certain organs. If you focus your eyes up and put your tongue at the roof of your mouth and breathe, which helps to regulate the heartbeat, you can put pressure on your pineal. And your pineal has an output. It begins to send out a signal, a wave. Now, it's always doing this. It's always doing this. Now, of course, fluoride, one of the most toxic chemicals in the world that we talked about earlier, does cause calcium to collect on all your glands. Fluoride. And they know this. Because somebody knew that if we were to get people to join in, to opt in to a bunch of mess, they'd be messed up. Get them to believe it. Talk in certain voices on the television. Use that voice of power. This is the voice of the strong one. We are winners, and we sound very intelligent. How many people you know that talk very intelligent? They have that talk. They talk like they've been to every college, and you're really intelligent if you act like you don't have lips. If you're black or brown and you're really dark, you might want to not act like you have lips, because you need to prove to the oppressor that you are not oppressed and you're intelligent and you're not, dangerous to him. Hi, how are you? Good morning. Hi. Merry Christmas. See, you're out of your head. You're out of your realm because somebody convinced you to get rid of your soul, your rhythm, that thing. Somebody told you don't use your lips, don't use your voice. By doing that, it changes your breath. When you act like something you're not, it changes your breathing. If you changes your breathing, it changes your heartbeat. The body gets confused because it said, who is this? The body's like,
that's not me. I don't sound like damn B.
We lost and turned out. This is we're on Gilligan's Island. We'll never get out of here.
I like that. Oh man. Damn, you changed your
now you've become a Negro. So your energy never grows higher than the knees. You're never going to get a high vibration being a Negro. That's not about a color. The Negro is a mindset that only goes as high as the knees. So his root chakra is based in survival. Hi, how are you, Jim? You just finished talking to your boys, man. I got to go in here and work, man. We got a rough day. We got a meeting. You're talking to your friend. We got a damn meeting, man. The chairman of the damn board is coming, man. This man, he's crazy as hell, man. Let me go. The meeting gonna start. You walk into the meeting. Hi, everyone. How are you? All of a sudden, you've changed your soul. You've gotten rid of it to come in this meeting so that everybody can agree that you're agreeable. Because if you're disagreeable, acting like those others out there, we can't have you in this meeting. If you want to be in here, leave your soul outside. Shit.
Yo, you sound like a completely different person. Yo, you could do a voiceover, man, or whatever they call that. Oh
I used
man.
to do them. I used to do commercials and voiceovers for a while. I've had
Oh,
lots of things I've done in my life until they started telling me that I, what I was. They told my friend the other day, he's a music producer, and he's done this orchestral piece that blew everybody's mind. Do you know what they told him?
what?
They listened to the music, and these are all oppressive types, right? And they looked at him, and he's the only, soul man in the room. And they said, man, you're more intelligent than you look.
Wow, that's crazy.
I said, well, what did you do? He said, I started breathing. So, because otherwise I was going to jail that night.
Yeah.
Because if you allow them to send a wave that dysregulates your heartbeat. Once your heartbeat and your rhythm and your breathing is dysregulated, you cannot put pressure on your pineal because you've got to put constant pressure. It's a rhythm. Anybody that was at the event on Saturday, if you were really there and you were really present, then your life changed. How many people were there on Saturday and their life has changed? Because if you were in that room, when we took you on an odyssey, your pineal began to emit DMT. Your heartbeat began to beat different.
Yo, Doctor,
Instead of go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, a sister called in. Me and King Simon did a call-in show talking about. Yeah, she's right here. I was just about to talk about you, Boss Life. This sister said her life changed after she met you. You gave her a hug. You talked to her. She said I think she got a job offer. Something happened. Amazing after her encounter with you and after going to the event on Saturday. So yeah, she people's life definitely have changed after Saturday, man. It was definitely electrifying.
Well, see, it's if you are allowing yourself to go on a journey and get off the path that you're on, then all of a sudden you start taking the high road. So when I am facilitating those type of events, it is my duty to be a channel. I'm not responsible for what's happening. It wasn't me, man, Dr. B, you off the chain. No, the only thing I am is allowing and opening up the valves, of allowance.
A check came in the mail for her. That's what happened. A lawsuit check came in the mail. Yeah.
If what I'm trying to tell you is, for many years, I've been helping people allow themselves to check themselves out. And you would like a check? Would you really like to be wealthy? Would you really like to become healthy? You're going to have to go into the calcination mode. You got to let and burn off and vaporize a lot of stuff that's not even yours, that you claimed. And you keep talking about my this and me and me and me. Me. First thing we got to do is take me and flip that sucker over, flip that M around and get we.
Mm-hmm.
We. Me. Look what happened to me. It always happens to me. And then you predict that it's going to happen again. Predicting. You get screwed if you're predicting something bad. It didn't even happen yet. So you're in fear mode. What certain types of music and sound and rhythms can do is they change your heartbeat. So when I was playing certain rhythms, I played a bunch of polyrhythms, and it was only little pieces of things. I didn't even go into the whole thing because we'd still be there. To create something that's happening in your cellular structure that gets you out of your head, out of your mind. There was a friend of mine who's a genius. We didn't know he was a genius until he got out of his mind. He went out of his mind. He snapped, man. He lost his mind. Do you know that dude is a genius? Mm-hmm. He don't act like anybody else. He don't walk like anybody. He wears clothes like he's wearing bell bottoms probably right now. He acts different. So you want to be a part of the fashion. You want to look a certain way. Everybody's wearing a certain thing. You got to wear it. Everybody got a certain look. If you feel like to be beautiful, you got to do this. Then you is a farm animal.
Right.
You'll never be free. Because your music, your rhythm is a loop. And you've become loopy.
Yeah.
When y'all was in there moving the crowd the other night, brother, I was in the other room. And I was listening to the way the music was moving. I said, yeah, man. He know about this stuff. It's a rhythm. And when you start telling people, I can do magic, a lot of people are like, well, no, I can't. No, I can't. How can I do magic? I got to take care of such and such. I got this job. I ain't got no money. My credit is bad. Why would you say your credit is bad? You just lost your credentials with the universe. You think some white folks, some white papers and some little check marks and some little scores that somebody made up is important? If you know how to do this, you can buy houses, cars, land, and get checks and everything by what? Getting rid of your old identity. You got to go through a metamorphosis. You got to go through change. That's why we're teaching this course.
Powerful.
There's people that took the first, it's a 3-part course. It's people that took class 1. Their lives have already changed. They've already begun to manifest. Why? Because you can do magic, but do you do magic? Are you majestic? It's got to do with being majestic. Or are you afraid? Because a lot of people are afraid of magic. See, that's evil if you could do magic. Well, who told you that? The church. What else did the church tell you? Well, it's the word of God. God spoke. What?
Dr. B, let me do something real quick. Now, we've been talking extensively about honesty, and that being one of the key ingredients in this alchemical process to turning lead, which they say is a dead pineal gland, to gold, which is a active pineal gland. And I want to know, in the chat, we got almost 2,000 people. How many of y'all would say y'all think lowly of yourselves? I'm just curious because I think that's something we have to work on. And I'm just curious if some people may be shy to admit it. Type of 1 if you feel as though in your life you have been thinking too small or lowly of yourself. Like you don't look at yourself as this God that Dr. B proclaims, or Billy Carson or Dr. Phil Valentine claims that we are. Just type of 1. I'm just curious. Because I just want to see where the help has to come from. Because we're not here just to preach to people who are ready. Okay. A lot of people. Dr. B, okay. Let me see. Some people saying hell no. There's a lot of 1s. I don't know if you can see the chat, Dr. B, but a lot of 1s.
I see.
So for those, I just asked family, how many people think lowly of themselves? Because these words that Dr. B is telling us to say and how to move and operate, if we think lowly of ourselves, Dr. B, it makes it more difficult, that process. So I want to thank the honesty. Like I said, honesty. Let's be honest. Like I said, I was honest about Rich. You an amazing hype man. You could hype another man's. You could hype up another brother's success. You could make another brother successful, and through that, you become successful or whatever. So I know that's one of my. Obviously I got other talents, but even me being a producer, I'm like boosting the artists up there. Like, here, Kambada, take this. I could do magic beat. Go ahead, go out there, and So honesty is very, very important. Dr. B, what would you tell to those people who is honest enough to get in this chat, type in a number 1 and say, hey, I think I need some help in this area, Dr. B? What would you have to say? Because I know this class is going to help. What would you have to say to that, Dr. B?
First, I would say congratulations, because you were open and transparent enough to say that you were there. That's a powerful place to be, at the lowest and feel lowly. Do you realize in alchemy, this is powerful because we just recognize, we just named it. Once something that is subconscious becomes conscious, once you can regulate and recognize the issue, we could change it.
Right.
Now, would you like to do an experiment?
I would love it.
Let's do an experiment.
Come on, family. Let's do this experiment in real time. Come on, y'all.
You see,
y'all know what this is about.
The only real, I would say, I got a couple certificates. One is an instructor at UCLA. Another one was I went and took a course on subconscious alignment, studied the subconscious really deeply. And there are movements that you can do. There are things that you can do with your body that change your state. We are going to do a bit of calcination right here on the show. Would that be okay?
Let's go, Dr. B.
I'm going to give you a sample of what we're offering in our course that we're offering right now for everyone. I would like you, if you have a 1 or if you got a 2 or wherever you're at, if you'd like to go to another level, what you may call a higher level, then take everything out of your hands. If you got your phone, put it down, put it on speaker. Okay. Nothing in your hands. Do not cross your hands. Do not cross your legs. Right? And I want you to make your chin level to the ground like this. So your chin is facing the wall adjacent to you. And I'd like you to focus your eyes down to the ground. Well, don't look down with your head. Only look down with your eyes, but hold your chin level. If you're there, we're going to do some breathing. And I'd like you to take note. You wrote a 1. I'm going to show you how quickly calcination can happen. So we're going to heat up the triple burner, which is the fire, a hearth within you through this breathing. We're going to do what they call bellows breathing or fire breath. Are you ready? What you're going to do is breathe in and out of your nose really quickly. And we're going to do it now. Stop. Take a deep breath. And again, in and out of your nose really quickly. Only in your nose. Now, some of you have changed where you're looking. Only look down with your chin level. Breathe only through your nose. Do not close your eyes. Look down, chin level, and breathe again. Are you ready? Let's breathe again. And let's do it again. In and out. It feels funny. Now take your hands, both hands, and tap them on your chest. Chin level, eyes focused down. And now you're going to snap your fingers 3 times. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Check in and see if your number is still a 1. Put your new number, no matter what your number was, did your number change? Did it rise or did it fall? Put it in the chat room.
What number y'all feel like now? The ones. Talk to me, family. 5,008. Talk to me, family. 307. There's no wrong answer. 82. There's no wrong answer. 1,000. 9. Beautiful. Infinite. 3, 5. 10. 1,000. 15. 7. And I got dizzy. 2. Honesty, family. Let's be honest. It's beautiful. King Simon said my heart started vibrating. 30, 555. 4.
Now, what's interesting about this?
It's beautiful, man. I love this.
As some of us have never, ever felt this before in their whole life. Everything just changed. We just did a type of calcination. We heated up the triple burner. When you breathe like that, you're breathing the fire breath. Remember I said earlier, calcination has got to do with burning off everything you no longer desire. Some folks got dizzy, they were attempting to do it. But even if you just did it a little bit, in and out through your nose, in and out, in and out, in and out. But your chin must be level. See, they got all kind of breathing out here. It's all kind of breath. You can do Kundalini yoga. The key is your chin is level. Why? Because when your chin is level, you are now in a state of being here now in this moment, present tense, because you're doing a program or you're doing a process or an exercise you would like to come to you now. You would like it to happen in the nowness of this moment. Your eyes are focused down because you would like to be able to connect it to your body. We took you out of your head into your body. We're going to teach a process on Saturday. We're going to have a whole line of exercises on Saturday that you can use every day. Beautiful. 3 or 4 of them that could change your life. I mean, really change your life if you could just remember to do it.
Man.
Because what we're doing is we're firing up the hearth. We're putting logs on the fire in the solar plexus, using the lungs to breathe deeply and quickly, changing the heartbeat. Your heartbeat began to change. You began to put pressure on your pineal.
Right.
There's so many things. We could be here doing a whole show on just what this one exercise does. And let me tell you, there's many types of fire breath. There's many types. I'm not saying this is the only one. Somebody told me one day, well, Dr. B, you're not doing the fire breath exactly right. That's not the way we teach it. I don't know what y'all teach. You teach what you need to teach. I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm learning something that I learned because I like cheat codes. I don't need to go to such and such university to learn how to, transcend into the next realm. I want to get there now. So I'm going to use music, sound, and frequency. And a lot of processes, what we forget at the end is we don't know how to celebrate it. So what I said was snap your fingers 3 times. And what you may not realize is that meant it is programmed into every cell of the body. And it's basically saying this process is complete. Now, there's one more process that we're going to teach this weekend that locks it in forever. So you could always go back to it. Even those who are here now, if you're not going to be in the class, that's okay. Just remember the fire breath. Just remember to burn up. This is the time of the fire dragon, the wood dragon. You got to breathe. And you can't be dragging your past up until now talking about you're a fire-breathing dragon. You have to be able to breathe and have a goal. The goal was set up. Brother Rich set it up. He said, how many people feel lowly of themselves? It's a lot of people. This may be, darn near 85% of the people. They feel low because they've been told they was low, and they've been lowering themselves, and they're not on the elevator, they're on a de-elevator. You said they got an escalator. What about de-escalator? How do we go down? How do you go down? And, they say, well, where's the escalator down? See, the language ain't even right. How could you go down an escalator? Escalate means to go up. But the language and the words in our head and what we've agreed to call things, it confuses us. So there's cognitive dissonance, and it causes us to be in a state of dysregulation. When we begin to change everything, we stop moving retrograde. It ain't about Mercury in retrograde. It's about you believing that you are living retrograde. Wow. What you're seeing in the sky and the horoscope, all of these things are what? Potential. Every exercise, ways of eating, ways of acting, whatever it is, martial arts, these are all potentials that can be used. But until you have chosen your goal, your why, what is your why? Your why is not to be lowly. You ain't coming to this class on Saturday and coming out lowly. You think your number's high now? Come to the class. Meet Dr. Mahdi. Dr. Mahdi is so amazing. He started out as my student, my assistant. Do you think he stayed my assistant? He went on and became a naturopathic doctor. He studied metaphysics on a whole nother level. Then he left the country. He left. This guy is a brain, but he's also got a beautiful heart. And we work together very well because we've worked together for 22 years. When he was going through medical school, guess what we did at Elevation? We supported him. Let's help him. Help him study. See, we got to help each other. We keep throwing shade at each other, right? Even our friends and family. Do you like me? No, I don't like you. Now you're, oh, you don't like me? Why don't you like me? Because you asked me a question. Can't you feel and you see the action? See, love and like and all that should be an action.
Facts.
And you know, even the word love, sometimes we need to be talking about care. Do you care? If you care about yourself, then you're going to need to breathe. And you're going to need to, I said earlier, breath, sound, touch, and movement are the 4 pathways of regulating your life. What we did in that, in that one exercise was we breathed. When you breathed, it made a sound. In and out, in and out. It was a rhythm. Then I said tap. In movement, you had to move to do it. That created sex. Intersection between your higher self, your pineal, connected with your heart, which is your earth, which connected with your digestive tract, which connected with the root. We just retuned every chakra in your system.
Wow.
One exercise. Imagine if you had 5 exercises that you could use in every situation. And see, the thing is, these exercises have to be, you know, you've got to be in a state where you are practicing, that's not the word, ritualizing. You're using them every day. It's a process that you always use. How do you do that? Because when you wake up in the morning, a lot of times you forget. Somebody says something and does something to you. You see something online and it changes. You go into dysregulation. Mm-hmm. Well, there's these pillars. There's these basic 4 pillars of life that if you have these, then you can do like what I did and allowed myself to do on Saturday. I had no idea what I was going to do, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even going to bring the conga drums. You asked me to bring the medicine drum. But when I was leaving and putting my stuff, you know, deciding what I was going to bring, guess what the conga said? Word, bring us. You know, everything that happened was improvisation, but it was about breathing. Do you remember the first exercise? Because what we did was like a retreat. And it was a short retreat. The first thing I said was everybody together. A-E-I-O-U. And to hear all those people, I don't know how many people was it? What, 200, 300, 400 people?
Sound like that, yeah. 3, 4, sound like that.
To hear all the people in oneness together, there was no separation.
Yeah.
Say A-E-I-O-U. And people to clap together in beat. They forgot about their issues. They forgot about their dysregulated selves. They became one, and it was the cohesiveness of everybody becoming what we call a liquid crystal. Changed everything. My Dr. B Sirius is not the same person that he was before that event. I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for even asking me to do it. Because I be watching Star Trek, man. I'm like, you want me to come? I gotta go because it's my boy, you know what I mean? We partners, and you want me to come through. So I did. I showed up. A lot of us need to show up. You have to be ready to be the hype person in your life. If nobody's hyping you up, you need to hype yourself up.
Facts.
If you ain't hyped up right now, the people say, well, Dr. B, you be hyping us up. I'm hyped up. Yeah. I'm like this all the time. People say, well, Dr. B, we went out with you and hung out. Man, you like this all the time. That's right. I'm hyped. I'm pumped. How else should I be? How long you going to be on the planet? You don't know. Do you have any idea how long you're going to be here? No. They could turn the lights off and stop the world from spinning tomorrow. Like if they got one button, they can stop this sucker. But as long as you got 10,000 people on the planet vibrating at the level of true love, which is 500. If you're 500 on the chart, on the energy level chart, you're at true love. That's not the highest. Then all of a sudden you give energy to everybody. What we did the other night on Saturday night was just a sample of what we're about to do. We're about to do a concert. We're about to do a whole medicine music concert where everybody in there shall be transformed. Everybody in the building and 3 blocks away. When folks walked out of the building the other night, they were changed people. They looked at the sky. They looked at each other. People were hugging and folks were crying in the hallways. One lady, they had to carry her out. They said, well, Dr. B, you're incredible. It's not me. I'm a channel. I'm you. It's we.
Yeah.
It was only possible by all of us coming together. What we just did with that breath was we took the pineal, the heart, and the solar plexus, and we connected them for some people for the first time ever. What we're teaching right now has never been available before because it never came together like this. From the God Power events, that could never happen. We couldn't have done that before.
Oh, yeah.
What Billy Carson is teaching right now, it couldn't have happened before. What Brother Rich is offering right now, it couldn't have happened. All the teachers, all the speakers. Iyanla Van Zandt, she called me the other day. She said, Dr. B, when we gonna work together? I started working with Iyanla Van Zandt on, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday of this week coming up on her, what is it, IVTV? She got a platform. And she said, Dr. B, I'm the yin, you the yang. Let's do this. So I'm working with different people, bringing people together. That's what we're supposed to do. And it's a whole lot of sisters out there. So somebody had said before, remember Brother Rich, how come the women ain't? It's a lot of women they couldn't talk out before, who are now ready, willing, and able to speak. I am saying, come on, sisters. Some of the elder sisters.
The women came out on Saturday, Dr. B. They was in there.
Man, the women was out.
It was deep, fellas, y'all. The woman was deep in there on Saturday.
It was crazy to see sisters open and, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was in oneness. They didn't need no security. There wasn't no problems. Wasn't no issue. Because the only issues there are the ones that we create. So you've got to take that stuff and put it in the fire and burn it off. Otherwise, you're not going to make it in this new world. You cannot take the old world with you. You cannot take the junkyard to heaven.
Hey, Dr. B, let me ask you this. So in alchemy, the alchemist learns how to take self-control or communicate with the subconscious operations of the organs, the anatomy of the body. They say, while we sleeping, our body's still functioning. It's subconscious. The heart's still pumping, the liver, the kidney, our whole body continues to work while we're asleep. So they saying in alchemy that the queen represents the woman who controls and takes care of all the things in the household, in the temple, your home, and your temple and your home. And the king is the person who works outside the temple of the home. So the conscious mind works in the external environment, and then the queen works in your internal environment. And they say it's the job to supply the queen with the proper tools she needs to clean. So that's the conscious mind communicating with the subconscious mind, telling it what it has to do. One being the queen, one being the king, one being masculine, one being feminine. Since we're trying to I got to stop saying that word. Since we're making this information more visceral, more emotion based, it's more cellular. It's touching our cells more. It's not just intellectual and staying in our brain and not going nowhere. I want to ask you, what do you think about the idea, Dr. B? If you got to tell your subconscious what to do, your subconscious is the queen, your conscious is the king. Do you think it would be effective, Dr. B, to talk to your subconscious like you talk to your woman? So you'd be like, hey, baby, can you do this for me, baby? Baby, I need you to do like instead of making it educational, I pray that this and like real robotic, like we're our spirituality has become real robotic. do you think it would be more beneficial to talk to our subconscious like, baby, I need this. I need this today. You got to make like talk to your subconscious like it's your woman, your wife, your lady. What's your thoughts on that, Dr. B?
See, and it's not about the physicality of male and female.
Yeah.
It's about the energy. So male energy, or what they call the anode of the electrical circuit, sends energy out. It only makes a spark. The feminine side is called the cathode. It pulls energy in and creates atoms. It is the feminine side of an electrical circuit, because I went to school for electronics back in the day, that it collects. It's the collector.
Right.
It's pulling energy in.
Right.
So the feminine energy is pulling in, the male is putting it out. You have to have both. That's electro, which is male. Magnetism is female.
Yeah.
So in your house, in your mind, you have to have respect for those attributes. If you are disrespectful to women, you have now dysregulated your life. You are murdering yourself. You're telling your telomeres, right? You're telling, there's a thing called neuroception, where your brain and your nerves are being shaped based on the conception, right? Conception of what you're giving birth to. If you're giving birth to anger and fear, because a lot of folks, they got this stuff in them that they got from their parents. They watch their parents' relationship or the non-relationship. Men are looking at the next woman as the last women that they've been with. Women are looking at men, as the last relationship. So if you're disrespecting each other, you're disrespecting yourself. If you cussing somebody out, do you know the subconscious hears it itself and doesn't know that there's anybody out there? The subconscious can only know of itself. There is nothing else out there. You're mad at somebody. Guess what? You're mad at yourself, and cells begin to die. I'm gonna kill him. Do you know how many cancel, cut, delete, and clear? Do you know how many cells you kill by saying that? I hate my blah, blah, blah. Cancel, cut, delete, and clear. Do you know that you just said you hate yourself? We speak in a very harsh language. Very harsh. And a lot of our languaging comes from this whole thing of competition. Right. We need to be warriors. I'm going to be tough. I ain't going to let nothing happen to me. Well, guess what? Because some things happen to you, you've created a warrior in your subconscious that's always looking for problems. And the part of you that's always looking for problems is predicting that there's going to be more problems. So even when something looks good, you begin to argue for your own limitations and say why this could not be true. Based on what you have witnessed in your life, you will create lack, limitation, and not enoughness, even if there's, you got a pile of diamonds. Well, where you get them diamonds? Something got to be wrong. What's wrong? What's happening? Because we are not living in faith, feeling as if the thing has happened, projecting ourselves and predicting the best. Oh, we're going to get into this deep on Saturday, how to predict a new world. A lot of you just went from 1, some people might have been at 0 to 10 or higher. One exercise. Once you realize that each day there are some things that you can do to begin to regulate yourself and to begin to fire yourself up and burn off the stuff from the past. If you can't let go, then you're done. So what do? The monkeys in the forest, how do they catch them? They put a banana in a vase. The vase is just big enough, has just big enough opening to put their fist through. So the monkey puts his hand in the vase and grabs the banana. Now the hunters come. Now the monkeys know the hunters is coming with clubs and guns or whatever. The monkey is so worried and he's so fearful that he doesn't let go of the banana. So he can't get his fist with the banana out. They don't let go no matter what. This is a lot of people have their hand in a vase grabbing a banana because they think that banana or that lifestyle that they've had is it. That's it. That's how I was born. That's how my parents were. I was born an orphan, and I'm this, and we always got this talk. We always say I am, which becomes very root chakra-ish. Now all of a sudden we're stuck there. So there's no way you can do the alchemy. No way you can use the Philosopher's Stone or the sacred elixir of life, because you're not fluid enough. You're not liquid enough. You have to be like water. Didn't Bruce Lee say that? Like, what did Muhammad Ali said? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Do you know how metaphysical this is? I'm Dr. B. I'm a bee. It's about being, to be or not to be. I'm in the moment. I sting. But I sting a different. You know what? The sting don't have to hurt. Sting could feel good. It's about what you're injecting, what vortex you're creating. What are you using to move towards your goal? A lot of folks don't know what their goal is because they've got so much stuff that's lead. I'm saying, would you like to take the trash out? Are you ready to change? Are you ready to agitate? That's what washing machines do. They agitate the clothes and just shake the dirt off. Grandma used to do this themselves, twisting and rubbing on the scrub board. Now we got machines that do it. But you got to be ready to do this yourself. What are you calling yourself? What are you saying about yourself daily? What is your own personal mantra? Are you cursing yourself out? What's your rhythm? What's your biorhythm? What's your song? That's why the music in the mainstream is like it is now. The mainstream music is taking folks out. It's killing them. People is into death dance now. They don't even realize that some of the rhythms, because I'm a musician and I'm into a lot of the indigenous rhythms. They have no idea that a lot of rhythms in the song today are about death and fighting. It agitates people. It makes them not care about themselves, not love themselves. And they keep looking at idols. They're into idol worship. They're listening to this beat. A lot of times the beat don't even go nowhere. It's around and around and around. It makes you loopy. The news is coming on. Every few minutes there's news. It's loopy. It's the same thing. All the radio stations, the television stations are saying the same thing. The stations most of them don't even have DJs anymore. They got a playlist that they're getting from a secret order telling you what songs to play. A lot of the music that's promoted now is promoted to keep you crazy, to create schizophrenia, mass schizophrenia. I'm saying that that's okay what they're doing. That's none of our business. Get out of the fast lane. What would you like? What is your goal? To get there, you're going to have to do something that has to do with stripping you down naked and get a process that you do daily. The class, The Soulful Science of Change and Metamorphosis. Class number 2 is this Saturday. We did class number 1 a couple weeks ago. It's still available on our website at elevationtime.com. I would ask you to go take class 1. You don't have to take class 2, but you've got to figure out what class you're in. See, a lot of folks say, well, Dr. B, your stuff is a little too peaceful and loving and too caring. So you're programmed to want what? Drama. You need to hear how bad it is in the world. And if you focus on how bad it is, it becomes worse. If you focus on a circle of things that you cannot control, you lose control. You can't even hold your bowels. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you focus on a circle of things you can control, just a few things, let's just control the breath. Didn't we just do it? Folks, they didn't have a worth in the world. Can we say that? They didn't feel worthy. We could have talked forever. I could have been here. You could have came to 12 hours of 12 classes over 12 weekends. I said, let's just do this one thing because I like the cheat codes. I use music and sound and frequency and rhythm and improvisation to take us into the place that has never happened before, because now has never happened before. They're finding new organs in the human body. Did you know that? They done found all kinds of new organs. You think they know what's in the ocean? They don't even know 1%. There's a science called epistemology. Epistemology is the study of the limits and the limits of knowledge. How could you study the limits of knowledge? Because we don't know what we don't know. You don't know what you don't know what you don't know. They don't know what's in space. They don't even know what space is, or if there is really space. It's not space if something's in it. And you can't go anywhere where there's nothing. There's something everywhere. God, you can't go nowhere where God is not. God is the creation that you're creating right now and in the mindset of your own mind. That is the Godhead. You got to learn how to make love to yourself. But people are caught up in labels. Number one, what you call something. It may not be what it is, but that's what we all agree to call it. Like being normal and having morals. We call it that because that's the way our society looks at it. You just can't walk out in the street naked. Oh my God, he's out in the street naked. You was made naked. Now naked is a terrible thing. So you want to put on clothes. You want to wear stuff so people don't see you. You don't want to see me as how I really am, especially my reproductive organs. We can't show those in public. You can't, with women, they can show the whole breast, but they can't show the areola. Who came up with this? So it causes your mind to focus on that. So we have labels, and then we have references. References are ideas that were given to you. You weren't there a lot of times. You just got a reference. There's people that heard about Black Magic Show that's here for the first time. How many people are here for the first time? If you're here for the first time, put first time in the chat room. Check this out. Some people are here for the first time and didn't know it existed. Somebody might have told them. They may have heard a commercial or saw, a post. So that was a reference. Now that you're here, you're having a referent. A referent is an actual experience that you have had. A lot of people had a reference to being at a higher vibration. They heard about it. Raising your vibration, ascending. They heard about it. They read about it. You know, read books. Oh boy, the ancients were at high vibrations. All the ancients weren't at high vibrations neither. All the ancestors might not be at high. I mean, it's a lot of talk. What I'm saying is that when we did this exercise today to now, just a little while ago, you now have a referent. You have an actual experience. If you got nothing else and you just use that, somebody goes off on you, go in the other room and start doing the fire breath. Ooh. Before you're about to go do something that could put you in a little square box for the rest of your life, go do some fire breath. Before you go talk some shit and throw some shade at somebody that you don't even know half the time, go do some fire breath. Before you assume, and before you say something bad about somebody and disagreeable about somebody you don't even know, because the crowdfunding, right, they got you to believe that somebody should be canceled. They give you things and tell you about this person. You don't even know about this person's life.
Right.
They tell you all the bad things he did. So back to you, Jim. He's in jail now, as you just saw. He just got out of the car. He's not showing his face. Jim, come over here. Back to you, Jim. Here he is now. Oh, my God, he's a murderer. They got signs out telling you what to vote for, what to do, how to think, and what. You go for it? Oh, you better get real. It's time to get off this. It's time to get off the plantation, y'all. Ain't been no farm. And you talking about you on the farm. It's no farm to see. The pharmacy is something that's not even real. It's an idea that you think that this inorganic substance that you're about to take and put in your organic body is going to do something. That's a placebo. The placebo effect is huge. They use it all the time. You're using it. If you get hyped up and make yourself believe something and follow something enough, you could change everything. This is what I've had to do over and over and over in my life.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened on Saturday was an alchemical process.
Yo, Dr. B, you wasn't there in the main room and at the end, but people. I had people slow dancing. We started slow dancing. You missed that, man. The fellas was with the ladies and everybody was in there slow dancing, man. We had some. I think we played Jodeci, Mary J. We played Mary J. I put on Mary J. I forget what I played, about 4 slow jams. And I you don't hear about nobody slow dancing. No, nobody does that shit no more, Dr. B.
There's a whole lot of people that do. You got to go to the right place.
But
when you slow dance, what happens is you breathe together with someone. You hear the sounds together with someone. You're touching someone. You're moving with someone. This is how you create new pathways to your brain. You're making love out of things that are no longer love, no longer healthy. See, a lot of people are having sex, but what are they thinking about? What's on your mind? Why are you doing this? Do you have a goal? Did you have a ceremony?
Right.
Before you did this, what are you thinking about? Before you go and you walk into your business, your job, what are you thinking about before you get there? About how you hate it? And how you're going to watch the clock all day? When you look at your bank account and you say, I only have, $50. What do you mean you only have $50? Why are you cursing yourself out? You need to say, I am what? Glad I have $50. Look at what you do have. Where did you get this thought where we're always looking at what we do not have, we in no way have?
Oh, yeah.
Where does it start? We're not optimizing our lives. It's a whole process to begin to optimize your life. Just since Saturday, my life changed. My rhythm changed. I'm thinking about a whole new thing. I got a whole new idea. Before I walked in there on Saturday, I had a different idea about things. I'm saying, oh my gosh, let's create something big. Let's do this on a bigger scale. I used to do this. Let's do this again. Why did I stop? Well, I needed to take a break. Now it's time to get busy. Let's get busy living or get busy dying. You want to get off the earth? Go ahead and eat your shit. You understand what I'm saying? Eat some chickens and go eat all that foods. Chickens. Yeah, chickens and chickens. Eat them.
Indeed.
People talking about, oh my God, they got lab-made meat. I don't know if I want to eat at the restaurant. You've been eating lab-made meat since you've been here. Them chickens and cows and them pigs and them goats was made in a lab. That is a science project. They're hybridized. They're crossbred. They can't even live in nature. And some of this plant-based stuff is based on being made in a plant. They created it.
Hey, Dr. B, before I forget and before we get out of here, I seen a couple of people said they didn't see it on the site. Is it on the site? How do they find the link for Saturday's class, Dr. B?
Elevationtime.com. Go to elevationtime.com. Go to events. Go to events. Or go to IG, right? Doctah, 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 B Sirius on IG. Then go to my bio on the link tree. When you go there, you'll see the class. The class is the soulful science of change and metamorphosis with Dr. B. Sirius and Dr. Mahdi Brown. This Saturday, it's from 10 until 3. It's one of the best investments you'll ever make in your life. And the only way that you will not change is if you don't use the things we're giving you. You're getting tools. People a lot of times don't use them. And a lot of times, to be honest, Brother Rich, some of the ideas that we're entertaining are so esoteric, you could never do it. A lot of the stuff I learned, I got a bunch of books. I threw so many books away. You see some books behind me. I kept certain ones. Reading and getting information doesn't mean anything. You have to actually exercise. You have to do something. It's the doing. You have to move past just gathering information and being an intellectual junkie and being able to spew this stuff out that you can't even do. Brother was telling me so much stuff about Egypt one day, right? And at the end of the night, he said, man, can you both be, can you give me a ride home? I said, bro, what do you mean? Man, I don't have no car. My old lady kicked me out. My dog bit me. And he was going on and on about what had happened. And see what happened with my mother. She used to beat me for stuff that, I used to steal and she would beat me, you see, and, and I'm messed up, bro. I said, well, wait a minute. You was in there talking about kings and queens and pharaohs and pharisees, and you was on some stuff, bro. You can't build nothing?
Somebody said not the dog.
The dog bit him.
Dog bit him.
So what was happening was he was emitting the pheromones of bullshit. There's another one, the pheromones of bullshit.
Pheromones of bullshit. Wow.
So a lot of what we're learning right now is this esoterica. It's really deep stuff. I was talking to these sisters at one time. This was years ago. And they was talking about how they had to get Trump out of office. And they was going to do a ritual. The witches. They said, we're going to do something. We know what to do. They was burning stuff and boiling stuff and had dog of lamb and ear of chicken and all this stuff. And they was brewing up these pots. I said, I want to see this happen. Y'all gonna, in the morning, you're gonna see something gonna happen. It was pumped up. And they started doing this whole chant together, and they had sage. I'm coughing. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, they had this thing, and they were saying, I woke up in the morning. They said Trump's likes went up. This is actually happened. Yeah. Trump's approval record went up. I went to the sister. I said, y'all said, well, that's because, and they had a thing. But he's protected by the evil such and such of Bukukula. See, there's an ancient book that Trump is in. And see, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Y'all supposed to be, what? A lot of this stuff is esoterica. It's really powerful information. I'm saying don't stop studying. I'm saying we have to do. And here's the trick. You have to have little small celebrations, little successes. Mm-hmm. Instead of trying to do something to somebody else, you must do something to you. Mm-hmm. Because if you are constantly recognizing evil, it's because the evil is in you. You can only recognize and agree to what is in you. Mm. You trying to be David and what? Slew is the word. If you trying to be David and kill Goliath with a slingshot, but you don't have no stone in your slingshot. Mm. Because you have to become the philosopher's stone. You can't look for it. You have to be the stone. That means to be solid within yourself. You can't just have philosophies in your mind and be philosophizing and can't build a pyramid, can't build a garden, can't keep a relationship. Mm. Then you also have to what? You also have to find and create within yourself the elixir of life. The elixir is the feminine aspect. It's the liquid. And there's 7 liquids in your body. There's 7 rivers, 7 oceans in you. Did you know about these? So there's certain sounds, certain frequencies, certain rhythms. That's why I do music, because I can prove it with music and sound and frequency. I can prove it. That's why the walls come tumbling down when 7 priests going around to the walls. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho. What is that about? There's some alchemical talk. They played horns and went around the temple and the walls fell. Now, we're not saying that really happened. What we're saying is there is tone and frequency to everything that you do. There's a rhythm. Learn the rhythms of life. Learn your rhythm. Stop talking about what other people are doing. Stop putting other people down. Big pro. Because when you put other people down, you got to stay down with them to keep them down. Mm. What do you mean? These people is bad and some evil folks and they doing rituals. You doing rituals too by knowing that they doing a ritual. Hollywood is doing rituals. They drinking blood and spraying urine. You drinking blood and spraying urine. You know about it. You focus on it so much, you become it. It may not even be real to you until you have ingested it. Mm. And when you ingest it, you invest in it. I don't care what I come from that world. I done seen some stuff, some folks in rooms do some stuff that will blow your mind. I'll never write a book about it. Because if I write the book about it, y'all gonna buy it. If I write a book about what I saw in Hollywood and the music business, it's gonna be a bestseller. But it's gonna kill me. Because I got to talk about what was in my mind and what I saw that's going to come back on me. It always comes back to you 1,000-fold. Whatever you project, whatever you put out there comes back 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold. You have to be totally creative. We're teaching people how to be creative now. Some of the things that we taught right before the age changed was all esoterica, deep ass shit. Oh man, that's deep. Man, I used to be talking, man, for hours, 6 hours. I used to do lectures back in the day. My people's minds is blown. They come back the next week. I said, well, what did you get out of last week? Oh, man, it was deep, man. It was deep, man. It was so deep. I went home and told my wife about that, man. Her mind was blown. So I said, so what happened? Did anything change? No, we come back for some more deep stuff today. I remember I did a lecture one time and I had smoked a little cannabis before the lecture. Man, the lecture went on for 9 hours. I was talking. I didn't even know what my subject was no more. I was pulling stuff out. You know what I'm saying? It was just coming. It was just information. But there was no point. What is the point? You must have a point. What is your point? What is your direction? Where are you going? Where would you like to go? You first have to have a point. That's why they took the capstones off the pyramids. They don't have points.
Yeah. And
So
Doc,
if the capstone is going,
I gotta just let you know I gotta wrap it up soon. So just
no, we're not wrapping nothing up. I'm just getting started. No, forgive me. I get a little.
When you said that 9-hour lecture, I said, "Oh, let me tell them now. We might be here at 3 in the morning."
And people say, you know, somebody said, "But so Dr. B, after your lectures, I know you're tired." I don't be tired. I'm no ways tired. You see what I'm saying? I get energy. This is only 10%. I'm only giving 10% at any time. I only give 10%. 90 is for me. I'm a generator. I got to be self-generating in myself. I'm not losing anything. You see, that's a superconductor. To become a superconductor, you must first learn alchemy, and you have to be at the same time you're creating the Philosopher's Stone, and you have to be the elixir of life. That's why when we got started, what was I taking? Platinum. Platinum life elixir. I need to get your address again so I can send something to you, brother. Yeah, the platinum life elixir. What's it do? Watch. It centers me. It's got gold, iridium, palladium. Do you know what iridium is? That's the mineral that's called the time clock. So when you are ingesting the right type of iridium, it tells the gold and the platinum and the other monoatomic elements what to do. I see a lot of these substances out here that people are taking. It all good. But the iridium is the key. It's the time clock. Do you know where the largest iridium mine in the world is?
Where?
Haiti. Or as y'all say, Haiti. The largest iridium mine in the world. You think they're going to ever let them people? You figure it's because they broke out of slavery. That was the first thing. You don't ever break out of slavery. We're going to punish you forever for trying to get free and get off the plantation, Negro. Then they found iridium. It's the time clock of all electro circuits, all, you know, of all integrated circuits. It's the time clock. So you got to know when and when to know how. You need a time clock. That's your timekeeper. Your heart and your thymus gland and your thyroid gland are creating a field of energy, which is your timekeeper. I'm a musician, so what did I do on Saturday before I got on the stage? I drank, and I shouldn't tell you this, I drank a quarter a bottle of platinum. I wouldn't recommend you do that at home. I got that from Dick Gregory. He would drink a quarter of a bottle. Halfway through, he'd drink another. That's a lot. But those elements, those monoatomic elements, are tuning you up to the cosmic elements. That these are the most rare elements. These are called rare earths. So when you ingest something like the Platinum Life Elixir, which is at elevationtime.com, then it tunes you up so that you can stay focused on your rhythm in life. It helps to repair your telomeres, which are parts of your genes that are telling the other genes how to move. The genes are talking to each other. They have a radio. It's the radio in the head. It's the radio in your cells. The telomeres are the antennas. They are the telescopes. They are the telos. They know about your direction. So each day you have a direction. So you don't get lost. You know, when your pineal is clouded with all this misinformation, when you got all this electromagnetism, I don't go nowhere without devices like this that are changing the frequency of radioactive materials, radioactive energy. These are on the website at elevationtime.com, by the way. These are very special. Actually, we don't have any because we can't keep them. So there's a website that you'll go to in our website that will take you to get those things. But what we're dealing right now is we're working on getting to the point where we are controlling our inner verse. Your outer verse and your inner verse have to be balanced. Your heart, your pineal, and your gut must be working in sync, in a rhythm. That's why a lot of the rhythms I play are 6/8 rhythms, because they do that. It's a special rhythm. Commercial music don't use them. Why? Because the commercial music is programmed to keep you in a prison, to keep you broken. You mean you only count to 4 in all your music? That's all you can count to? We can't even do 5 or 6 or 8. Why? Because when people begin to think outside of the box, when they leave the farm, when they begin to use the principles that we're teaching in this course and other courses, when they begin to use the herbs to get rid of the parasites, because a lot of the parasites like toxoplasma are doing what? They're keeping you from being in rhythm. There's nowhere in the world you can be a great alchemist and use the Philosopher's Stone and the elixir of life if you're full of parasites that are controlling your mindset. Because some of you right now, the toxoplasma in your head is attempting to stop the energy that you just rose and ascended away from what? Worthlessness. But if you're not careful and you don't make the right steps because you're being prompted by a parasite that is very conscious, then you're back. So the class on Saturday, it starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It goes till 3. It is class number 2, part 2. The soulful. The soulful science. There's a big difference between a soulful science and just science. Soul means that it's got soul in it. It's got heart in it. The soles of your feet is where your soul is coming in from the earth. If your feet ain't touching the earth and you all got your feet high-rised up, walking funny, twisting your bones so you can be pretty, you will never get into the soul science of the earth. You could never touch her. She's trying to talk to you. When we do this class, which is called the Soulful Science of Change and Metamorphosis, you will begin to come out of the caterpillar stage into the cocoon where the metamorphosis is happening and come out as a butterfly. Let me tell you something. A butterfly goes wherever it pleases and pleases wherever it goes. And a butterfly in Canada can flap its wings and make change on the other side of the earth. A dolphin can make a sound in the place in the ocean called the sound channel and communicate with every dolphin. They work together. An ant, every ant in the anthill is communicating. Every tree in the forest is communicating. They're using the mycelium network, which is like the real internet, to connect. What we have to do now to make it is connect. We've got to begin to connect, breathe, have sound, touch, and movement to intersect with ourselves so that we can move into the next realm. You can't ascend by taking all the weight and cargo with you from the past. It's not going to work, y'all. And you got to get out of me into we. And we've got to stop predicting the past. We've got to stop self-sabotaging ourselves. And how do you do it? There's a process. It's not easy, but it's simple if you know the steps. This Saturday, you will receive the steps to step you up out of the place that you've been into the new earth, the new world that you create. Let them go. Let them go. What will they find? They will find their destiny. That's from Planet of the Apes, the very first one, the original. Mm-hmm. Only an apostate, the man says, or the ape says, only an apostate would go to the forbidden zone, and only a fool would give a gun to a human. Then the music goes, duh. What are they talking about? An apostate is a person that goes to the place they said don't go. Who told you don't go there? The controllers, the pharmacists, the doctors. the lawyers, the liars, the politicians with the pole up your butt. They lie. You better vote for you. An apostate is the black sheep that runs away. No, you don't stop and tell the man how many bags of wool you got. The black sheep gets away and runs into the woods and becomes free. But you got to let go of the luggage because your vessel, right, is carrying a lot of stuff from the past until you choose to let it go. And you have to be careful. There's a way to let it go because your security guard, right, it will try to fumble the ball, your new goal, because you programmed it to protect you. Sometimes success is a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people, when they get to the place of success, they go back. They backslide because it feels too good. It's like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to feel good because they called me blah, 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 blah. They used to tell me I was retarded when I was young. Retarded. What does that mean? Retarded. That meant I was slow. I was slow with the stuff that they had going on, but I was fast with them drums. You have to find your rhythm. Are you ready? Are you willing to invest in yourself? Are you ready to become the God power? The blueprint is always in you, and everything that we do is part of the blueprint for God power. So I would like to thank you all for showing up, for being here now in this place. I'd like to thank you, Brother Rich, for what you're doing, man. You're wealthy. You're a wealth of knowledge, and what you bring to the table has never been here before. And we thank you. I'd like to thank all the radio hosts who've had me on since 1994 on the show. They've allowed all of us to speak. I'd like to thank each one of you who's here listening right now for showing up, for being here. I'd like to thank my family for supporting me. I'd like to thank my enemies for being my opposition and teaching me to push past some of this bullshit. You got to be able to push, but you can't be sitting down to eat the bullshit. You got your fork and knife out. It's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. You done took it personal because this person is crazy. No, let it go. You must go find your destiny. You must walk the path, and sometimes you may go alone. I'd like to thank the staff of Elevation for all the good work that they're doing. The staff that was at the spot the other night, Industry. I'd like to thank the brothers over there and the sisters that put that together. And first and most of all, we would like to thank ourselves. Always thank yourself. Thank yourself. Think yourself. Think yourself first. Give away 10%. So elevationtime.com is the website, elevationtime.com. Platinum Life Elixir. Go try some. We've got a special dose that we just made just a couple weeks ago. And the other products at Elevation, if you'd like to invest in yourself, they're there. I'd like to thank also all the herbalists, all the teachers, all the chefs, all the raw food people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Everybody's doing the best work they know how. Everybody. No more competition, no more throwing shade at each other, because that comes back on your ass. You see? It's blowback on you. Let's let that go. So elevationtime.com, go to the event section. You'll see the class. It's the Soulful Science of Metamorphosis and Change with Dr. B. Sirius and Dr. Mahdi this Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you can't make it, still register, because you can watch it as many times as you want. You can rewatch it all over and over and over. You see? Elevationtime.com. That's the place to be. And also make sure you get on the email list. If you're on our newsletter email list, you'll get notifications of a lot of products and projects and things that we're doing right now that we're not going to have to the mainstream. So choose yourself. Choose love. It's elevation time. You have to do it. Don't wait. The longer you wait, the more weight you gain.
Powerful, my brother. I want to thank you once again for coming on the show. Thank everybody in the chat. Come back tomorrow. AA Rashid will be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And Flebrun will be closing out the week this Friday at 9 p.m. We're going to get going to the Cosmos on that one. So make sure y'all come back for the next 2 days. It's been a fire week all on the Black Magic 363. We had Club 363 on Saturday, and we've been learning this week.
I like that.
So yeah, that's the club 363.
Club
Doc.
363.
Oh yeah,
And let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I didn't get to answer it, and I didn't mention it, but a lot of folks are looking for the music that I create. It's at elevationtime.com under the music section. It's called Medicine Music. And that's where you can, go and enjoy the music that helps to change the substructure of everything. So thank you very much, brother. But Club 363. So you joking? I don't know if you joking.
No, I'm serious.
You open that spot up right now and have healthy drinks.
We did a whole show talking about it. Me and Keith said we did
healthy drinks. Yeah. People can get elixirs. I'll have my elixir at the bar. Folks can dance and find and meet people and all of that kind of stuff.
No, it's coming, Dr. B. I done had full-blown conversations with King Simon, my lady at Club 363 is coming. It's a thing. I like it. Thing, my brother. All right. Hey, Dr. B, thanks so much for coming on, family. Thank you once again. I'll see all of y'all tomorrow. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Travel light.
Yes.